Trishtile, welcome to the second session. Okay, now before I move on to my session, let us do one more recapitulation. Okay, the first one we have done, the recapitulation of the parts of speech, and out of the 8 parts of speech, we have also done one of the most important parts of speech, that is verb form. And then after that, we have also done the types of sentences. Okay, now these are the things that we have already done in the first session. Okay, yes. So, which is we have also shown you the sample work of class 6, 7, 8, and you have already seen the difference, although all these things are there from class 5 to 8, but the only difference is the difficulty levels, okay, which is the choice of words used by class 5 student, class 6 student, class 8, like this. Now, these are the things that you have to keep in mind, okay. It doesn't mean that when it comes to part of speech, you have to just watch over a video or like this. Now, if you Google it, if you just go to the YouTube and try to search, now, since you have got the topic, now it's easy for you to, go to different types of parts of speech, videos on verb forms, and videos on different types of sentences. There are 2 types of sentences on the basis of the structure, okay, and types of sentences based on the function, okay. And you have already seen which is the different types of sentences used by the class 5 student and class 8. Sometimes the class 8 student, they use which is the compound complex sentences also. It doesn't mean that they are not supposed to use these things. They only have to stick to simple and compound. No, this is not applicable. So anybody can use different kind of sentences, okay. Now, as a teacher, if you come across students who do very good by using simple and compound sentences, then you have to encourage your student to focus more on introducing more complex sentences and complex compound sentences. So this is how the growth is made in that particular student, instead of using the same. Now, if you see your student, some of the smart students who are using the same, which is a compound, conjunction or the simple adjective, now you have to encourage your student to use the the difficulty level should be increased, okay. So they should be encouraged to use different adjectives, okay, yes. So that's about the recapitulation. So let us come to our second topic, and today's second topic is writing process. Okay, so whatever language we talk about, we have got the 4 skills. Okay, the first one is the receptive, in which we talk about the listening, and then we talk about the reading. Now, these are the 2 receptive, where we have to get the inputs, and then we have the speaking, we have the writing. Okay, now these are the output, okay. Whatever inputs you have, now this is the output. You would do the output either in the form of speaking or either in the form of writing, okay, yes. So today we are going to talk about the writing, okay, yes. So the writing is the most important part, okay. There is no way you can go away from writing, okay. We do different kind of writing. Even if you are not in a school, you do different kind of writing. For example, you keep your journal, you keep writing, okay, like this. So I also have I do writing practice, and I have got my own blog. So those of you who are interested in writing, it's better, okay, you create your own blog. because most of these blogs come in free form. Okay, you don't have to pay anything. So instead of sacking all your works right from class 6, 7, 8, it's better you just make your own blog. Okay, now just for your kind information, I'm going to share my blog. So if you get time, please go through this blog. My blog name is rangme.com. Okay, so if you get time, you can go through this blog, and if you have got any blogs, okay, if you're fond of writing, you can also share. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. So the writing process. So when I say writing, which we say there are so many different kind of people. Okay, yes, some students get which we say nervous. They don't feel comfortable when you hear the word. Okay, write a paragraph, write an essay, write an article, write a composition like this. Okay, yes. So which we say writing is not that much an easy process. Okay, yes, it is not something that you can do very easily. Okay, yeah. So just to give you an example, I'm going to use one metaphor. Okay, what is that metaphor? That metaphor is M-O-M-O. Okay, what is this? M-O-M-O? No, I'm not talking about momola. Okay, yes, I'm talking about momo. Okay, yes, momo can be vegetable momo or momo can be non-veg momo. There are different types of momo. I'm sure you all like momo. Okay, yes. So you must be wondering why all of a sudden I'm just bringing the topic momo and makes everyone water their mouth. Okay, yes. So momo, because this is a very exact, I mean the suitable metaphor I use for the writing process. Okay, yes. So momo, it's not easy. Okay, in order to make a momo, you need to follow some process. Am I right? Okay, yes. So whatever momo you are making, whether you are making momo in America, whether you are making momo in India, or whether you are a Chinese, whether you are Indian, whether you are Tibetan, whatever you are, wherever you are, when it comes to momo, we have to follow some process. Okay, if you follow this process properly, then you can easily prepare a momo. Momo can be made very easily once you follow these steps. Okay, now if you don't if you don't follow the process properly, then instead of becoming a momo, then that stuff may become some other else. Okay, yes. So it's important for us to keep in mind the process. Now, whenever I say writing process, you have to think of this metaphor momo. Okay, how do we make momo? Okay, momo cannot be made in just 1 second on it. It has to go under different types of processes. So today I'm going to discuss about the writing process in the first session, and in the next session, Angela will do the application part of the writing process. Okay, yes. Now, first of all, I want to ask you whether you know the writing process. So far, you have done lots and lots of writing. Okay, so when you writing, okay, when you start writing, do you ever use the writing process? Do you know, are you familiar with the writing process? I'm not just talking about the English language. We do different kind of writing. Even if you are writing a Tibetan essay, Chinese essay, English essay, Hindi essay, okay? Now all this writing, no matter what language you use, you have to follow this, which is a process. The process is universal, it's same. Okay, I've already told you whether you make momo in America or India, the process remains same. Okay, yes. So do you have any idea what the process, how many processes are involved in the writing? Yes, okay. Now let us try to look at this. Okay, writing process. I want you to look at the slides. Okay, now there are 5 processes involved in writing. Okay, now what are these 5 processes? Okay, yes. Now these are the 5 processes. First one is pre-writing. Okay, the pre-writing. So whatever you do, you should have some kind of a good planning. Okay, yes. If your planning is good, then half job is done already. Okay, so whenever somebody tells you to do a small piece of writing, okay, instead of what should I say, getting some kind of shock or like this, it's better you just think about the writing process. For example, I will just give you, okay, now all the class 8 students, you are going to clean the whole football ground. Okay, yes, if I tell like this, the student, they will not be able to digest when I say, okay, all the class 8 students, they are going to clean the whole football ground. Okay, for a moment they may get shocked. Oh, how come we can be able to clean all the football ground? After all, it's a very big football ground. Okay, now if I cut all these things, okay, one student, you will get small piece, the other student will, now if the student individually, they keep on cleaning their small part, and at the end of the day, we have already cleaned the football ground. Okay, so how does it look in the beginning when you are not able to break all this down? It's which a humongous task you feel. Okay, but if you break all these things, if you plan and if you try to follow some process, then it becomes very easy. Okay, yes, within few minutes, all the students will be able to clean entire football ground, no matter how big the football ground is. Okay, so whatever you do, okay, even if it is a piece of writing, you need a proper plan. Okay, yes. Now these are the process. What are these 5 processes? The first one is pre-writing. The second one is drafting. And the third one is revising. Fourth one is editing. And last one is publishing. Okay, yes. So think of momo making. Momo making, you have to follow one steps. You have to follow the process. Okay. And when it comes to writing, you have to follow these process. Okay, now if you follow this, your writing becomes very easy. Okay, yes, so that is the thing. So I'm going to just explain this, which is 5 processes in brief, but Kedinchila will do, which is the application part. You got it? Okay, so once again, let us try to, which is remember the process. First one is pre-writing, second one is drafting, third one is revising, fourth one is editing, and fifth one is publishing. Now this is just a universal. Okay, yes, it applies to all the languages, in whichever language you are writing a piece of thing. Okay, whether you are in America or in India or anything. Okay, now this is the process. Okay, yes. Now sometimes we may have different process. Okay, but the main work remains same. For example, in our textbook, CBEC and NCRT, we have got a different writing process. Okay, yes. Well, what is that writing process? This writing process is, here is an acronym. Okay, CODER. Okay, I've already made one video on this coder, okay, based on the CBEC and NCRT, but the work, it's almost same. Okay, C stands for collect ideas. You have to first, before writing anything, you have to collect ideas. After collecting ideas, you have to organize these ideas, and then you do your first draft. First draft means you start writing, and after the first draft, you do the necessary editing, and finally, you revise this. Okay, you just see whether you have done this editing part or not. Now, this is another form of writing process. Now, we are going to stick on this, these 5, what should I say, writing process. Okay, yes, pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. Okay, now let us talk about pre-writing. Okay, so what is pre-writing all about? Okay, so pre-writing. Now, from the word itself, you will get some idea, pre-writing. Okay, before you write, what do? Get your ideas on a paper. You have to get ideas on the paper. And before you write anything, whatever writer we have, okay, it's very important for you to make these 2 things clear for you. Okay, first one is, what is your audience? Even if you're writing a Tibetan, which is an article in a newspaper or a magazine like this, first you have to check who is my audience. Okay, audience means the people who are reading your which write up. Okay, you have to be very clear. Okay, my audience is all the Tibetan. No, I'm writing this particular essay in an international magazine, so my audience will be all the foreigners. Okay, I'm writing this in my school magazine, so my audience will be my students and my staff member, like this. So you have to know your audience. That is very important. You must have read so many fictions. Okay, yes, Harry Potter. Okay, detective stories. So many things. Okay, now these writers, first they have to keep in mind who their audience is. So once they get this audience clear, then it's easy for them to start. Okay, so whenever you do a small piece of writing, now these are the plans. So you have to know your audience, and the second important thing is your purpose. Whenever you do some kind of writing, obviously there will be one purpose. So you just ask yourself, what is my purpose? Why am I writing this piece of writing? Is it to inform the people? Is it to tell a story? Is it to argue on some important topic? So that is very important. Now all these things come in pre-writing. Okay, we will do this in details later. So pre-writing, is it clear? Okay, yes. Now other thing, okay, yes. The next one is pre-writing. When it comes to pre-writing, there are different strategies, okay, yes, based on the student level. Now, here are some of the strategies, okay, you can use in this stage. Which stage? Pre-writing stage. Okay, you can practice this in the evening. Okay, you write a small piece of writing on the basis of these processes, and you just check for yourself whether these processes helps you or not. Okay, if it does not have, then you just continue your own style. Okay, the first one is brainstorming. So look at the word brain. Brainstorming means you write everything that comes in your mind. For example, you are talking about the COVID-19. Okay, it's a disease. Okay, yes. Now, if somebody tells you to write on an essay on COVID-19, you have to think, okay, what is my purpose? Okay, who is my audience? Who is going to read my write-up? Okay, and then you start. If you don't have any idea, now these are the strategies that you are going to do. Brainstorming. Okay, you just keep writing whatever you think. Okay, you just write. Okay, yes, and you will get a whole lot of ideas, and from that idea you can easily pick 3. Okay, yes. And then the other one is clustering. The word cluster means you make a small groups. Okay, yes, that is another strategy. And the third one is free writing. Okay, what is free writing? Free writing is when you write something, okay, without any pause. You just keep writing. For example, if I'm writing on COVID, okay, my teacher told me to write an essay on COVID-19. Actually, I don't know what COVID-19 is, but recently I heard this word from one of my friends, and I came to know that this is you keep on writing all these things. Okay, this is called free writing. There is no need for you to do any kind of checking. Okay, so this is free writing. By doing this free writing, you will get some idea what you are supposed to write. And then we have got the questioning. Okay, for example, if you are writing some incident, okay, yes, reporting. You remember whenever we report, we have got the 5 Ws. Okay, the questions. Okay, now suppose you are writing about the flood. Okay, yes, flood. Where was the flood taking place, when, how, where, how it is happening, why is it happening, all these things. Now this is one of the pre-writing strategy. Now you can choose one of these. Okay, this will be very helpful. And the second one is, okay, now whenever we write, okay, now we make use of all this visual. Okay, yes, we call it flowchart. Okay, yes, graphic organizer. They are called graphic organizer. So as a student, no matter which class you are studying, okay, it's important for you to know some of the technical words. So this is one graphic organizer. Whenever you have got any kind of presentation, if you are doing some kind of presentation, you are going to make use of this graphic organizer. Okay, now suppose you are asked to share one incident about your holiday. Okay, now there are some process. Okay, now this is one graphic organizer. First I'm going to talk about this, and then this, and then now graphic organizers are this is one tool. Okay, one tool which will help you jot down all your ideas in a picture form. Okay, yes. Even in when you are in higher classes, for example, class 11, 12, like this, now these graphic organizer will be very helpful. It will be very handy for you, especially you have to listen to long lectures and you have to do the note making. Okay, now there are different types of note making. So you can also use this graphic organizer, or you can say web, or you can say also flowchart. Now these will be very useful. So these are called graphic organizer. So in this pre-writing stage, you can also make use of all these graphic organizer. Okay, yes. For example, I'm talking about COVID-19. Okay, yes, COVID-19. Now, last one, questioning. Okay, where? Okay, 5Ws. You ask all the W questions. Where? Okay, when? Okay, why? Who started this? And then how it spread. Now, once you do all these things, now it's very easy for you to do the writing. Okay, yes. So Getanjala will go in detail. I'm not going to spend much time. And the second one is which is a pre-writing, and second one is drafting. Okay, now drafting. So after you get all these things, now you're going to do first draft writing. So whenever you start drafting, there is no need for you to worry about the grammar or the sentence structure. You just try to organize all these things. Okay, yes. So that is what drafting means. Okay, draft, it is not the final, it needs lots and lots of things. Okay, and in the drafting session, what you have to keep in mind, you have to keep these things in mind. Okay, during the drafting, I'm going to think about how my introduction would look like, how my body look like, and how my conclusion look like. Okay, introduction. Whenever you write anything, your introduction part's very important. We say hook, isn't it? Now, this particular sentence will just grab the attention of the readers. So there are different ways of starting your introduction. You can ask, you can introduce by asking question. You can start by writing some quotation. They are different. We will learn this later. And then body, and then finally conclusion. Conclusion is almost same. Some people, they use the same introduction than the conclusion. Okay, whatever, we have to summarize this. So this is the drafting stage, and the next one is revising. Okay, revising, there is one acronym you have to keep in mind. What is that acronym? This is ARMS. Okay, yes. So what does ARM mean? Add sentences. So in the revising and editing, some people, they do simultaneously. Okay, but what you have to keep in mind in revising and editing is a bit different. So in a revising, what are we focusing on? What is our main focus? In the revising stage, our main focus is on the content. Okay, we have to focus on content. Okay, yes. For example, if there is any need for new sentence, or this sentence, it's I've got so many simple sentences. I'm going to use compound sentence. I'm going to use complex sentence nowadays. And second one, remove unwanted sentences. You have written one draft. Now try to see if there are some unwanted. You just take it out. Now this happens in this revising. And then you just if there is any if you need to shuffle some sentences, okay, up and down, this is the stage. And finally there are some words. Okay, every day he's very good. If you have got that word good, you just try to find a synonym of good. In Tibetan we say Twinjik Mingi Namda. Okay, you just try to say. So instead of using good throughout the sentences, why don't you start another word? Okay, so all these things happen in revising. So remember, in the revising, we only focus on the content. Okay, and the next one is editing. Okay, now editing, in the editing, what do? We just try to look for the mechanics, machine, just like this. In a sentence, you just check the capitalization, you see the usage, okay, you see whether the punctuations are used properly or not, you check the spelling. Now, all these things happen in the editing. Revising, you just forget about all these mechanics, okay, sentence structure, verb, subject conjugation, spelling and grammar, all these things. You just forget about all these things and just focus on the content. What are you talking about? Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? What am I supposed to tell? Do you think my audience will clearly understand all these things? Did I use all the transition words properly? Now, these are what you are going to do in revising, and in the editing, you are going to focus on the mechanics, capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling. You got it? Okay, yes. Now, these are, what should I say, the writing process, and the last one is what should I say, publishing. Okay, so publishing doesn't mean that you have to go to one publisher and you have to publish a work. Okay, now publishing simply means you finalize. Okay, so that is the thing. So during the publishing, now almost everything is done. You just check. Okay, I, B, C. I means introduction, body and conclusion, whether these are okay or not. Okay, and you check about your handwriting, make sure that your handwriting is legible. Okay, yes, and then spacing, you just see whether the spacing is properly done or not. And then we talk about the left indent. This is very important. Whenever we write any paragraph, okay, yes, people normally keep one space here. Okay, now this is called indent. Okay, whenever you start a paragraph, you have to keep one space here, and this is called indent. Okay, yes, your paragraph, you should keep one space here. This is called indent. So in the publishing, what you say, stage, you have to check all these things. Okay, now this is the writing process. Okay, we have done this writing process, and after what should I say, knowing this writing process, I'm sure most of you know this, but in case if you do not know, okay, by knowing this, I want you to do a small piece of writing and try to follow this process, and you can tell me whether this process help you or it stops you from writing. So I'm going to stop here, and Gitenshala will continue where I stop. So thank you so much for watching.